Hey guys, back again. Hear those birds chirping? It's perfect for this. This is the foreword. Doing it myself, and it's about being happy. Now, being happy, insofar as I know, is the goal of life. Having happy family is an extension of being happy. Choosing the right people and situations to be happy is up to the individual. Each of us goes out into the world in search of our happiness. I left home and found Bambi and started a life with her. There have been problems, but overall, I am happy. Maybe happy punctuated by anger and fighting and disagreement, but happy nonetheless. I actually like Bam most of the time, and only a percentage is awful, and the good is way worth it. I look forward to seeing her and have not chosen to spend my time with that many other people. So kind of antisocial, if you look at it that way. I choose her over all others aside from the kids and the dogs. Oh God, I love them. Bam is happy for the most part with Rick when we are not disabled and homeless. She gets love and physically taken care of before all this. Also, if you ask her, she will tell you she hasn't wanted for much when I was the breadwinner. The problem all along was that she didn't know how to feel happy from the spending or excessive weed smoking because they weren't the problem. It was the black hole she was trying to fill, and the stuff just disappeared, which Rick had been talking to her about since she spent the rent money on Francisco. And Rick, I had read Bradshaw and Virginia Satir before I even met you guys. So she was just never satisfied. And Rick tried very hard, and it is impossible. Bam and Rick both came to this understanding together. A person has to feel like a person before things can make them happy. Bam has been a person since she left a camp. She was still an abusive person to Rick, but a person nonetheless. She's now developing beyond being icky as self-protection, as it ruins your day-to-day life. Right now, in poverty and living in a shed, she seems happier than the other people who live here at Chase. She doesn't resent anyone their happiness. Resenting other people's happiness destroys your own happiness. Happiness is created every moment by the beings who desire it. Blaming your happiness or not on others is what humans do before age 6, before they start to understand there are other people also. Bam and I are fighting, so who knows? Maybe we won't even stay together. But since we are both people, we can survive without each other. But I truly believe the good outweighs the bad, and we will remain together. If we ever stop seeing each other, that is what it will be. We won't see each other. There's no serious resentment cycle building up due to one person feeling they've done it all or whatever. We have been a team, a dysfunctional team, but a team since Skokie. We both have worked to make it happen. Bam just needed more time to get it about the black hole. She was majorly set back by living at Elston before California and lost her mind and kicked me out. But she got rational again, and when I worked for Gary and Vista, about that, and she keeps cycling through her problems from her young life of poverty and self-worth. I've been her only true outlet, and that does not integrate someone's feelings with their mother. Only their mother can do that. I challenge anyone else in this family to prove that the lives they have chosen have made them happy and fulfilled, in parentheses. And that means you look forward to seeing the people you chose to live with. You really like them, and they fulfill you. And in some way, your main person completes you, and I don't mean pays for your clothes and feeds you, etc. I mean, in your heart, not, oh, see, we got to go to Disney. Because Bam went to Disney, and it was not helpful to her self-esteem issues or poverty issues. And in point of fact, Disney World makes it worse because you only get to go so often, and in parentheses, and you max out your credit cards on the way home, in parentheses. That's her experience. If you make a good life, you can go as much as you want, in parentheses, or if you take advantage of hillbillies you don't really like or approve of, in parentheses. But how Bam was trained, you get to go so often, and it's just a treat. It never stays with you as you come back to reality. Whole, fulfilled people feel fulfilled when they leave Disney and go home as well. They feel fulfilled at home. Maybe there isn't much evidence of these actual happy people. They're not around here. But I am not going to use the example of the world, or this world, to compare by. That is failure. I'm going to say we should accept only complete satisfaction in life by actually being real people who are actually living it. My satisfaction is mostly based upon my wife and I getting a good life together. To me, it appears that everyone else in this family resents this and would wish the opposite for me. Asterisk. So there'd be a footnote. This way, they get Bam back, or so they think. She'll probably just leave the planet without someone actually on her side. Not like the family's version, or your guys' version of on your side, which is, they had her suicidal when I met her. And then in parentheses, blivet, shit sack, tree trunk legs. The pariah that had the nerve to go with Johnny, her crime, or leave her poor mother, her best friend, in the first place when she went to Florida. Biggest crime, end parentheses. No, not that footnote, the asterisk. James would want Rick back or gone. Lex wants Bam back and Rick gone. And then God wants what Lex wants for Lex and what Jamie wants for Jamie. Now, entertaining the whims of your adult children does not help them develop beyond childhood. It really doesn't. So James and Mary, they were happy, but Rick ruined their perfect, endless love. Right? James and Sherry were happy. Then they came to the camp and Rick made life hell for everyone. Now look, they even broke up. Being happy by forcing your way on people and ignoring the repercussions is not really happy. This builds resentment with the forced individuals, the ones that are forced, and they will start to do things back. Resentment and vindictive actions. This loops and cycles as the offender just keeps forcing all different things, and the forced beings, the ones who are being forced, just keep taking it and then reeling and building resentment. For example, Rick ruined Mary and Jamie's relationship by existing in the situation that James kept convincing, in parentheses, forcing, Mary to accept Rick's presence. The subsequent issues, Mary and James fighting, isn't just laid at Rick's feet. Even though Rick really tried to stay out of their way, the offense, yet again, was not the daily issues that Mary threw up. Let me say that again. Rick really tried to stay out of the way. Either way, the offense, yet again, was not the daily issues that Mary threw up, in parentheses, straw man. It was that she was so greatly offended by Jamie choosing Rick over her. She was, after all, his espoused endless love and all that, not Rick. This is what is happening with Lek right this second. I accidentally saw Lek this morning as he had gone back into the house, and I wasn't aware. I said good morning when he came out of the door. He surprised me, and he didn't answer. I said, that's okay, you don't answer, I understand, because I remembered right then, that he hated me. I had been vomiting just prior to that, so I wasn't on top of my game. I said, I understand, to which he said something I didn't hear. I didn't expect him to speak at all. He probably didn't understand my words. I said, sorry, I didn't hear you, and he said, fuck you. So I apologize for saying good morning, to which he replied that I shouldn't communicate with him. So, okay, he broke off communication. Yet again, I avoid him every day, not to bother him, and I was just puking. Totally puking my guts out. So I was not remembering, all the shit, like how he hates me. While I hosed the cooler of puke and washed the dog bowls, he came out of the house and I said good morning. That was my big mistake. I apologize from the bottom of my heart for having said anything to Lek. I forgot myself and what was going on from excessive puking this morning, so I'm sorry. Now, Lek was obviously angry before he saw me, and he is angry all the time. I do not think I've ever seen Lek happy for more than a few moments or brief smile, aside from being drunk, on drugs, at a kid's birthday, or holding a baby. And then in parentheses, he cannot be happy knowing Bambi, my wife, is with another man that fulfills her, and then he blames her for leaving him, and then since he doesn't even have to remember that he spit on her and hit her and stuff and held her down, he can easily think it's all her fault. It's nice and neat. So now, happy is a truly fleeting and conditional thing with Lek, and he heavily blames those around him when he's displeased. He is blaming his internal state on external people and situations, and it is being validated by an entire family to glean his favor. Just shift the focus from James to Rick, and Lek complains about Rick. Freaky. Now, Ga can use this also, but unfortunately has only Lek to depend on. And then in parentheses, because her kids are lame and won't support her, end parentheses. So either way, Ga suffers, as she's the only one Lek has to talk to, and she always has to listen to his rant, no matter what. This will only increase with time, and the more he perceives she owes him, and the further isolation. In parentheses, they're moving to the beach and getting their little place, or getting an RV to share for the time being, all to himself, right? And then in brackets, you and me, because he does that, and then no one else to even be getting mad at. It's just going to be Lek and God. That's scary, because she doesn't really like him. But I digress. This is about happiness, which in my estimation is made up of certain factors. One must be a person to be happy. Firstly, one must not blame who they are, what they do, or the circumstances of their adult life on anyone else. Now, in parentheses here, finding the source of things and fixing them is not the same as blaming. Now, if you can find the source of issues, we could stop the issues. We don't have to necessarily relive the issues like traditional therapy. But even NLP wants the cause to disappear, like just make it go away or not have to think about it, even if they don't need to mention the cause as to possibly anchor it, end parentheses. Now, another point, one must on their own actively seek things that make them happy. Now, the big caveat is that these things should not negatively affect any of the person's chosen people. Now, for example, Jamie chose Rick over Mary way back in the day. Compromise would have fixed it. Talking about what was the real problem could have fixed it. Now, it's easier to blame the Rick and move on. Now, it did happen that way, so it must have worked. Another great example would be Video Widows, Mary and Karen's song about their men choosing computers, screens, games, porn, media of all types over their women. See, this making yourself happy proves out as wrong by the very women who were then affected. Yeah, it was a joke, but I didn't ignore my wife for video games or what have you. And much truth is exposed as humor when the truth is about someone who you cannot honestly and openly speak to without being bulldozed out of your beliefs. Now, even if Jamie can never believe this, I think God will. Even if I am crazy and whatever, I obviously truly love Bam and her animals and kids. I actually desire the woman I chose. She makes me happy by existing. Spotty, Broly, Joshi, and crazy little Chula all make me happy every moment. Tiara's on her own. Lou's on his own. Makes me happy. I just wish I wasn't letting the dogs down so bad by being disabled. If I'd known I was becoming homeless, I could have for sure found a great home for Josh or Broly. By the time we knew, it was too late and we all loved each other too much. As selfish and wrong as that is, that's what happened. I might die without them right now anyway. Without them, we'd have a place for sure by now, because we'd be able to rent one. But happy is relative, and it's a balancing act, not a blaming circus of circumstances that are someone else's fault or problem for us to slough off. It's things we should all be working together to solve together, because that's what makes things work. A being must feel that they have achieved their position as a person who stands on their own without any kind of assistance from anyone else at all. Now, in parentheses, to standing on their own as themselves part. Right? In parentheses, I don't mean don't appreciate the help you've been given. I mean never allow the help that has been given to make you feel like what you are is not by your own merits. And don't let the helping people make you feel like less for their helping, or degrade yourself for needing someone to show you something, teach you something, or just reflect you back to you, so you know who you are and how that may affect those around you for good or ill. Because that's so important. We all need it. It's this simple feedback that I believe the members of this family, these people in particular, have been disallowed by the current system in place, by their own choice for the last 30-some years and beyond. The fact is that everyone is already supposed to know or be whatever is correct, even before it's explained to them. and it makes the beings themselves feel crazy and insubstantial. You cannot know how to do something before you learn how to do something, and that's okay. We all must learn everything from birth and are not all born with built-in bike riding or swimming or singing or dancing ability. Even if we have an innate talent, unless engendered and practice takes place, we'll never excel or even attempt the thing for fear of looking stupid, or foolish. Now, happiness comes once the above things come into play, and then the matured being chooses to see things in a way that they can be happy no matter the circumstances. This takes a very Zen type reality that you gain when you have raised your kids and grown up dealing with all kinds of shit. I know I've been doing that since I was a kid. My shitty family made me see the Zen aspect of the world very young. Hiding in dark places lends to meditation. Also leads to dust allergies. Happiness is the mission of the earth. We are either helping or hindering. Hint, vilifying and hating does not add to the mission, it detracts. What do you do every day to try and be a happy person? And I don't mean a moderately satisfied being that slides by in mediocrity, but that would be a start. Ending stress in all its forms would be the place to start. This does not mean avoiding the truth. In fact, stress goes away when the concepts are fully comprehended. The misbelief that leaving things hanging is in some way avoiding the pain is patently false. Pain leaves when the source of the pain is understood and mitigated or modified. Every relationship can be a clear channel of our actual thoughts and beliefs in our own words. If the relationships are not this, then there is a big problem. How can anything work if communication is not a constant flow of truth back and forth? If we are shining each other on because we know that that person won't understand, or you know how he is, he never understands, we are taking the opportunity to make communication worse just to avoid the slight pain of explaining until understanding happens, or finding an alternate form of communication. For example, write a letter and have it translated into Thai. Then ask several Thai people to explain what it says so you know you got the context. This kind of effort to cross a language / age barrier, you name it barrier, works. It is just taking the effort to fix our relationships instead of just going along and having the ability to complain. Complaining seems the main form of entertainment to Americans. Complaining, unless it is to change something actually, is a waste of energy that drains you and leaves you sad. Most people then just line up some more blame for that person that they love to bitch about, and the cycle begins again. Only fixing what the bitching is about so that people feel resolved can ever lead to happiness. The bitching is a doomed cycle that leads to more and more doom, more and more bitching, more and more doom. Honestly, ask yourself if you are happy. If you are, why? What is the true kernel, the seed? Who makes you smile? Who cheers you up? Who do you enjoy speaking with, truly? If you see you need some help being happy, do not hesitate. Talk to the people you love and start the process today of understanding what can truly make you happy. Believe that your kids want you to be happy and accept no less from them. Do the same with your partner. I'm not saying just get along. Straighten things out with your daughter, and also straighten out your shit with Leck at whatever cost. Do not leave things lay ever again until you actually feel satisfied inside. You will eventually actually feel satisfied if you find a way to actually communicate and actually always be yourself. Never the twain shall meet is the biggest load of shit on the planet and has ruined more lives than we could ever count or even imagine. And that's back in the day, males and females, never the twain shall meet. We all know what that means, right? Great philosophy. I mean, pause the TV, have a conversation with your daughter, maybe even go for a walk by the beach with her. Oh yeah, that gets you in trouble with Leck. Oh, so abridging your life is your true happiness. Accepting less in your daily life guarantees you nothing. Only the gamble of true self ever pays off. Ever. Acting to get by makes you not you. Ask Bam. I'm going to say that again. Acting to get by makes you not you. Acting to get by makes you not you. Ask Bam. She will corroborate this simple truth. Do not participate in camps anymore. Just don't do it. Make the truth be known to all in the same format. I cannot change what I say in these videos, no matter what I do now. This is conviction. Same format for all to see. I am happy as I know I speak the truth, and if it is heated, things will just get better. I desire no credit once things get better. Credit is another one of those huge points of contention, and I'd prefer to avoid it. I would hope God would get credit for fixing things, as she is the only person who at this time has the ability to bring this all together for the others. And let's face it, they will listen to. And let's face it, that they will listen to. And I could give the secrets of the universe, and Leck and Jamie would hear fuck you. Which is how it is right now. And that's it. Thanks.